You ever wake up from a coma and then bet your life savings on Baby Keem after listening to his new Casino album because you understand that he's the most underrated artist in modern music history?
Baby Keem gambling casino pipe dream. Who's with me?
Baby Keem really left no stone unturned. New Baby Keem album Casino is phenomenal. I'm ready to fight anyone over this, but this project is one of the most enjoyable first-time listens I've had in a very long time. The first time I heard this album, I was driving after midnight, and the textured production mixed with his vocal delivery, it passes the car test. On my Friday night, this was everything I needed and more. You know when it's after midnight and you're so delirious that music just hits different? For some listeners, I understand that there might be a disconnect with this album. Some of you really weren't expecting your Baby Keem to go through puberty, and I get that. His delivery is less raspy and nasally, and there's a new maturity to some of the lyrics. Now obviously, some of the songs on the Melodic Blue dealt with real pain and trauma, but this album reframes some of those experiences in a very introspective way. Okay, you won't forgive me for this, but on this album, you're not getting any
ice cream, booger, Kelly, piss, Sub-Zero.
You're not getting any of that rapping. There are still some really incredible vocal inflections. There's a lot of eccentric energy still, but it does kind of sound like a different artist at times. There's even a moment on the album where I swore I was listening to Andre 3000.
I'm telling my friends that you're not a freak.
You're not getting any of that. This album is a little different. Might be alone in this praise, but I genuinely love Baby Keem's production. I think he's incredibly inventive. He knows how to make something sound modern, also putting a unique twist on old soul samples. I'm not entirely sure how to describe this characteristic, but some of his beats have this intangible variable that make them sound incredibly sinister. This dark dramatic edginess. His instrumentals are brooding, they are atmospheric. On this album, Baby Keem is not reminding you about his two phones every 5 seconds. He's showing us a new layer of the onion. He's getting us familiar with a new dimension of his character. Can't emphasize it enough, but there's always so much texture in his beat selection. We'll hear the instrumental that sounds like it was ripped straight from a video game. And then he'll fuse that with something that sounds like K-pop. I don't know, his medley of influences is kind of insane. Sometimes it's this harsh industrial technical feel, and then other times on the song Dramatic Girl, sounds like chipmunk soul mixed with hyperpop. I don't know how the fuck to describe it. I'm not Anthony Fantano. I am using the wrong words to describe this right now. My ears like what they heard, and you can't take that away from me. I think that there was a real concerted effort from Baby Keem to show his own voice on this project. In the past, he was exposed for using Kendrick Lamar as his ghostwriter, and a lot of the documentaries that he released promoting this project showcased his active involvement in the production and lyricism of this project. In many ways, he was really trying to show they took an active role in curating the vibe of this entire project. He was the architect behind the experience. A while back, I went to Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour, and Baby Keem was one of the openers. When he started to play a song like Trademark USA or Family Ties, the crowd went ballistic. Later, when Kendrick eventually brought him back out on stage to finish some of those songs, the crowd was the loudest they had ever been. What that shows me is that Baby Keem's music is in many ways more suited for a concert environment. While Kendrick might be trying to heal the world with his message, Baby Keem was just a kid that used to stream that later turned music into his main passion. If you want to hear more about my experience at this concert, there's a video I made a while back. You can check it out. I think that Baby Keem was really trying to challenge some of the Nepo Baby rumors on this project. Like, just because he's related to Kendrick Lamar doesn't mean he had a good upbringing. The documentaries they released promoting the album showcased a lived experience that you could just not fabricate. Kendrick Lamar undoubtedly changed Baby Keem's life. However, there are some moments on this album that really had me reflecting. The last song almost broke me. That was one of the hardest listens I've heard in a while. Not expecting a Baby Keem of all people to have his own Mother I Sober really was one of the most sincere and vulnerable cuts I've ever heard from him. After an album of such highs and lows, I just left feeling sad after that listen. But an album that makes me feel things is always better than an album that doesn't make you feel things. The song is genuinely heartbreaking, and even though some of the events on the album were leading up to it, it kinda comes out of left field. All of you, go hug your moms. That's your homework assignment. Listening to No Blame kinda messed me up for the next 10 minutes. While his music has delved into dark topics before, the way it was presented on this album wasn't necessarily what you might expect from Baby Keem. Throughout this album, the subject matter of Vegas was used as a metaphor to describe the gambles that he took in life to get where he needs to go. It also very conveniently tied into the whole Sin City, bad influences, vices angle that Vegas is known for. Even though for a quick weekend it might feel like a dream, if you had to actually live in Vegas, if you grew up in Vegas, I legitimately feel bad for you. That is the last environment you want a child to grow up in. You see humanity at its worst, and degenerate behavior is second nature. I think as an artist, Baby Keem is grappling with unlimited potential. I just don't think he enjoys the publicity that much. I think he values his privacy and likes to protect his energy. Being a celebrity might just be a means to an end for him. It's not strictly a pursuit of vanity. And then there were the Kendrick Lamar features. In this project, we learned the valuable insight that Kendrick Lamar is a butt guy, which, when presented with the two options, it's an admirable choice. People viewed Kendrick Lamar's input on the Baby Keem projects as an outlet for him to experiment outside of his carefully crafted image. Kendrick's input was always seen as a low-consequence way for him to experiment with different sounds and styles without being held to the standard that he set for himself. And as a result, when this duo is together, they have unironically created some of the most impactful songs in their discography. No, I could get clowned for saying that, but Family Ties and Range Brothers are unbelievably memorable.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
On this project, Baby Keem was able to showcase the depth of his character. Compared to the Melodic Blue, there was less of a cartoonish depiction, it was less of a caricature, and it felt more raw and authentic. To this day, there are still so many misconceptions about Baby Keem. One of the funniest lines from one of the Kendrick songs was when he just roasted the hell out of Young Thug. He said something akin to the way that he talks to his girl is the way that Young Thug snitches, and that was just so out of left field. There was one actually insane moment that I kinda need to point out though. Baby Keem actually attributed his disappearance from the music industry to taking the vaccine. I understand historically why members of marginalized communities distrust medical institutions and how they take advantage of them, and I also didn't personally have Baby Keem's experience. But I don't know. If he had this experience from the vaccine itself, and arguably there's a good chance that the actual virus would have impacted him way worse. I don't know. It's his art, but this is food for thought. You really shouldn't be getting your medical advice from me or Baby Keem. If you're skeptical of institutions that have historically hurt you, I see why. Overall, I genuinely love this album. It would have been interesting to hear what Child with Wolves would have sounded like, and I'm still curious to learn the real reason why he scrapped it. I will definitely have this project in heavy rotation. It has a really intriguing flow. Songs sound so different from each other, yet feel related. The only song that really breaks this pattern is the emotional weight of the last one. I highly recommend that you listen to this project. Let me know your thoughts. Alright, read the room. It's time for you to go now. Follow the madness.